What's up, guys? I'm Stevi Parker, owner and head trainer of Powerhouse Soccer in Souderton, Pennsylvania. I started when I was 3. My dad played soccer in high school, so he got me into it. All the other kids were like sitting there like picking flowers and out of the field and hugging each other, and I was like the one going for every single ball. So my godmother always is telling me, she's like, yeah, you were just different when you were 3. She's like, we just knew that this was like your passion, and it never changed. I mean, there was never a moment that it wasn't the top priority in my life. The willingness for me to want to work to get better came from within. You know, like my parents, my dad especially, would push me to like practice on my own when I was a kid, but it's like I was like 7. Once I got into that rhythm, it was like me going out wanting to practice on my own. If you're not putting in any extra work on your own, someone else is, and that person will surpass you. So I like learned that young, and I wanted to do it. You know, no one was making me do it. There has to be something that separates. And I think it's what comes from inside of you, like that the drive, the passion, the love, which led me into, in 7th grade, when I tried out for probably the best team in the state. I made that team and was able to, you know, become a starter. Through that team, I got to play with and against like the best talent in not only Pennsylvania, but the entire East Coast, and then eventually, as we got older, the entire country. I mean, this team won 6 state titles while I played for them, 3 regional championships, and 1 national championship. And in that national championship game, we won 6-0. So it was just an insane amount of talent on one team. Like every single player on that team went on to play Division I college soccer, which is just absolutely unheard of. And a lot of the things that I learned through that team, and you know, the lessons that I learned, the players that I got to learn from, the coaches that taught me, that's what carried me into playing college soccer. I mean, I would definitely not have been playing, I don't think, for a team in the SEC without that experience at the club level, which carried me through my college career. And then from there, it was just more of the same. You know, I relied on my work ethic to be always the hardest working player on the field. And even if I wasn't always, you know, the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, the most talented, my work ethic carried me through, and that then led into my leadership style and just being that person that always led by example on the field. And I think that carried over onto my teammates. And while I was at USC, we made it to the Elite 8 for the first time in program history, which was absolutely insane. Beat UNC in the Sweet 16, which is just, again, kind of unheard of. UNC is just a powerhouse. And during my time at USC, I was voted 3-time MVP by my teammates. So I think that really speaks to the type of person and leader that they saw me as, where maybe I'm not getting, you know, the best stats on the field. I'm not scoring all the goals. I'm not getting all the assists, but I'm that steady person that they can constantly rely on. And no one's voting you MVP if they don't see you as a leader, you know. But I think also I was partially born with leadership skills. I think it came with the motivation to be great. And maybe that's why I like teaching. They come in here and they know that they're gonna work super hard for an hour, but they're gonna have a ton of fun. So they're competing, they're learning work ethic, they're also enjoying what they're doing and developing like a love and a passion for the game that maybe they're not getting anywhere else. And they're learning things like compassion and kindness towards your teammates and respect for your coaches and the people that you're working with. And I think that that's something that maybe is missing in other areas, and these kids are walking away from here with values that maybe they're not getting anywhere else. And they're leaving here feeling more confident in themselves than maybe when they walked in the door. And I think giving them that confidence to not only be a good soccer player, but to know that they can be good at anything that they do in their life is part of my purpose. So it's, you know, soccer training, life training, being a good human training, trying to help these kids be the best versions of themselves on the field, but off the field. So the mission is make better humans. Yeah, soccer's the vehicle. And I feel like it's good for these kids to see a female doing it. There are not enough female coaches in the women's game. And as a kid, I never had a female coach until college. Literally, my first female coach was college, which is crazy There are just not enough women coaches, and it's getting a little bit better now, but it's not the same. Like the male presence is the dominating presence in women's sports, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I also think learning from a female as a female, there's just things that as a woman I understand that a little girl might be going through because I went through it. So to see someone who looks like you, who's out there doing it, it's like, wow, I can be her too. The women's World Cup team, 1999, you probably heard of them, the 99ers. That was my inspiration. So like maybe I can be that inspiration for these little kids, whether they're coming into Powerhouse or they're watching me on YouTube and they're like, wow, like Stevi Parker's doing all these cool things. Like I can be like her someday. Yeah, that's the goal. The vision for YouTube is to help as many kids as possible get touches on the ball on their own. Like we keep on saying, it's what you do outside of team training and outside of your private coach, the work that you do with your private trainer, that's gonna set you apart. Like you can't not touch the ball at home and expect to make leaps and bounds. So the YouTube stuff is, hey, here's an awesome drill that you can do by yourself to get better at this particular skill. Or here's a setup that you can do with a friend and challenge each other to get better, again, on your own. Purposeful practice, right? So yeah, it's not just, hey, I'm gonna go juggle for an hour, which is great, that's touches, but here's a focused drill that you can do on your own with a specific goal in mind, and there's intention behind it, there's purpose behind it. You're setting out with an intentional goal in mind, not just, I'm gonna touch the ball to touch the ball. So, just growing the number of people that we can reach.